Right, Honda Civic, I am trying to find out where there is a water leak inside the footwell of the driver's side. So I am opening it up and I'm suspecting perhaps where, unfortunately it's raining today, where the rain comes in at the windscreen, it goes in, maybe something's blocked, or maybe the seal area between the engine compartment and the inside. Do you remember on my Ford when I did that, the Ford Mondeo, it's a very small, it's like a small foamy thing that fits onto it where the steering column goes. That area there could be kind of, what would I say, molten away, kind of melted away, the stuff that restricts water and moisture getting in, melted away. So I've got some silicone, high temperature silicone, ready to paste in there if I can actually get to it. But if you look here, the engine sits deep into the body and it's going to be a very difficult job. And if I went underneath, you know, could it be done from underneath? I don't know. Maybe it'll be easier from underneath. So today I'm just going to do the on top. So I'm going to go above. So take this off. There's an attachment there. I'm going to try and get this corner panel off. Maybe even this strip. To get this corner panel off, this windscreen wiper needs to come off. And then we'll dive from there. We'll try and dive in and work it out from there. Again, it's a cold day, so forgive me, I'm kind of shivering as I'm talking. This is British weather. There is a plastic clip here where this bit fits onto. Pull that out, and this quarter panel on the windscreen can come off. There are two lugs here, one here and one here. Careful there, because they can just slide off and be lost. This comes off with it, this pipe, so I'm just going to move that aside. I took that front top cover off. And of course I'm going to clean all in here, and then we'll assess. So there's a lot of debris in there, so you know, my mind is wondering where the water's. There should be a drainage somewhere on here. Oh look, I don't like the look of that. If I wanted to change the spring or get the strut out, this is the location. Oh yes, I'm just going to squirt some WD in that spot right there. It's just for the sake of it. I'm going to try and take this metal plate off. Now, looking in here on the far left corner where my hand is pointing, so on the far right hand corner if you was on the driver's side, which is this side on the right, is a drainage hole. In there, when I reached in there, some damp kind of leaves and damp stuff. So the water ideally would drain in there. So from the side of the window, it should drain in there. None of it should be blocked. And from here, the windscreen, looks like it should drain onto this metal, this plate, on an aluminium plate. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, maybe 10 mil. Take this off and see what we look like underneath, because I can't feel for a drainage hole on this thing. Taking this plate off, we've got to be careful because the manual fuel pump handle is just here. Yeah, I don't think. It kind of just sits on it, so I don't know how it exactly works. It could be just a visual thing, like. So it just sits on there. So it's definitely attached. And maybe it will detach. Yeah, that's a bit dead, so I can get a proper view. I'll try and work out this. The manual hand pump is there. I think there's 2 screws in front of this. Get some light on it. Here and here. And the lid comes off, and then you can manual hand pump it. If I take that off, it just kind of feels a bit wobbly. Maybe it'll come off. So as I did these sort of half screws, they don't fall out. They just kind of just came much. There we go. This is what we're looking for. Oh my word! Let's just get make sure it didn't drop any of this in the engine. Right, so this plate here is where the rainwater from the windscreen will go down. Here's my manual hand pump there. It's been hidden there. So this plate will come off. You'll come from underneath and you'll pump it up by hand until it's hard if you've done anything like to the fuel filter. Now, I'm getting somewhere. I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't know. Because I don't know if we'll ever get to the source of the problem. But, looking in there, is where I suspect the windscreen water will go, and those holes there is where it will drain down. And there's only sign that this engine not going to be easy to work on at all. Looking very, very closely, there's a heat shield down there for the exhaust. I want to employ more light and just now having a look at the way the water drips. It's going to drip onto here, and that tray is going to catch it and then deliver it into there. See those holes here? And that's where I think the water's getting in. We've got these natural holes. Now, I don't like the look of that at all. I don't know what you think. I don't like these holes at all. Where is it draining to? That's probably where it's going to the inside of the car from there. If it's like a hollow piece of metal, and I can't see from here, it drains behind the barrier and onto the wall of the inside wall, and then there's that seal around it where the steering wheel goes. That's where it's wet in the inside. Obviously we can't have it dripping onto the timing belt like this. I wonder if I can devise a way of diverting that water somewhere else. Of course the best solution is to leave it and then seal up on another day, seal up the top of that steering system where the steering rack meets the inside wall, that kind of firewall. So I'm pondering. There's not a lot of debris in there. I'll clean it up. It's not enough to, let's put it this way, it's not enough to stop it from flowing properly. So it's a bit of a conundrum what to do next. Maybe I've done what I could on the top side. I just wonder if there's a way I can redirect the flow. I wonder. It might not be that difficult actually. Remember things. So this is how it works. Water goes in, and you can see there's natural flows of water on that piece of metal. And this is interesting as well, where this goes. That side of it, this corner side, flows straight down onto, so there's no way that would have got into the body of the car. Oh, fuse box getting dripped on, careful. Well, I've just noticed the underside of this tray, and parts of it is very deteriorating. The seals, I mean, this part here, like that part there. And if it's this way around, let's put that on. If it's this way around, then most of the water drips just here. Point right there. I've got a feeling this should be perfectly sealed. If not, it can cause a problem. And seal is just breaking off as I put the screwdriver over it. So that's not good. Let's clean it up. Clean up the new. I've got liquid gasket I can use. So that just all cleans up water pumps. I've got this new stuff. Once I put it back on and screw it down, I want a watertight seal between here and the drainage. And if it's the drainage, if it is the steering column, then I'll get to that from underneath. At least I know the water's not leaking through this bit. Right. That's all I can hope for. So let's do that. Now, it was tempting to put just silicone on it, sealant on it, but I'll never ever get it off again. So got this old, very old liquid gasket, ultra grey gasket maker. I'm going to squirt some on. And this sort of mat that you use for doing sit-ups with is waterproof, and it gives me a bit of compressive. You can compress it as I tighten the nuts on it. I'll tighten the bolts on it, so it's going to give me the same sort of effect as watertight in it, but I'll still be able to take it off. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so here's my new gasket. Double up on areas like with a bit of gasket sealer. There's a bit of a crack in it. So one long strip stuck on with this gasket sealer. Really I should have put the bumpy bit against the other way, and the smooth bit on the side of the facing the water. Never mind, let's put it back on. Right, so checking underneath, checking at the gasket that I made is against the metal underneath, and it's not slipped. I could have waited until the glue dried, kind of thing. But I don't think that gasket, liquid gasket, will actually dry all that much. It will remain kind of putty like. Just making sure it's in there. Tighten the back ones first, ones towards the back of the car, then the top ones. And tighten them up evenly, and you should have a watertight seal. So, first part done. If you want to hit that like button now, please do. Second part, obviously I'm going to put it all back together. Second part, I'm going to go from underneath and try and feel for a break in the heat wall between just basically where the steering goes through into the steering rack. There should be a seal there. Hopefully, if I seal that up, then no water can get in. I think it possibly could be that. Problems here leaking down into that area there. So if I fix this area, fix that area, that should be it. So underside, right side of the Honda Civic, and just in there, well, I'm going to put my screwdriver just here, hard to see, just there is the rubber gaiter. This rubber gaiter, I was suspecting maybe is kind of all worn out and trashed. Just here, this is metal, this, hear that? Rubber gaiter. That's for the steering arm. That's not destroyed at all. I thought maybe the water was getting in here. That rubber gaiter, absolutely fine. Very, very stiff, not busted at all. So that scratches that idea with the water coming in there. Now here, more towards the central left of the car, look, there's a drop of water coming out here. See that? So that is some sort of drainage pipe. Now, I haven't used AC in a very long time, so whether the AC line comes through here as well with the excess water, I don't know. I can't really tell. I don't see any rust underneath here at all. It could be that job that I did is, you know, repairing that underneath the windscreen of the kind of deteriorated rubber gaiter under that metal panel. Could have been the one that fixes it, I don't know, because it was kind of disintegrating and the water would have leaked in an awkward way in a different position rather than down the drain holes. Maybe all that drainage system leads to this pipe here and leads outwards. So this is one big possibility. So like I said, that one there, that area there would have been the other likely place it comes in, but that is such a small hole compared to the Ford Mondeo. There's a very small hole. It's a tiny little inlet, so the water cannot really get in any other way unless there's some sort of rubber kind of grommet that is completely melted away and it's above, and I can't find it. So the only thing I noticed that was melted away was that underneath that metal drainage plate was where the gaiter had rubber wasted away, and I replaced that. So I haven't given it enough of a chance to check it's made a difference. So I think on that front I'm going to leave it for now to see if it's fixed it. So fingers crossed. If you do get water in your footwell, drive of the passenger side, Honda Civic 2007, so that'll be 2006 to 2011, that's Mark 8. Try what I did, take off the windscreen panels and get to that drainage plate, and maybe the rubber gaiters there have wasted away, and just try and fix it the way I've done it. Alright, please hit the like, subscribe if you like what you've seen, make a comment, any experiences similar, especially if you've done what I've done and managed to fix it. Of course, in time will tell. I'll put a later comment months to come to say yes, that has fixed it or not. So this is not as inaccurate as a report as a permanent fix as I would like, because I don't know yet. Right, thank you. Right, so with the taping of it, kind of just a temporary fix, and I've taped in this area, which I think a lot of rainwater gets in, but the rain would have to kind of well up until it got to about here, and it might drop down here. So I just want to take it all apart again and dig much deeper, see if I can find the cold air intake. If I can find the cold air intake, see if I can fix it and have a permanent fix instead of this temporary fix. So notice I've taped everything off, so all the runoff has got to really fill all the way up here and until it spills over. But now let's try taking it all apart. So let's rip out all this tape and dig much deeper. I've got a whole day today, so let's do that. So first thing, obviously take off the tape, and taking off this is just a couple of and I'll show you in a second when I open it. Should be some sort of screw there, but it's just a cable tie. There's one here, a little fastener, one here, and just to point out, any water coming down this front bit I've blocked off as well. There's normally holes here, and I've left like a, where my finger is, made my own kind of drainage hole, a normal kind of pipe that you get in fish aquariums, and I've run it down to the front lights. But that's not going to catch half as much as the back end where the windscreen is. So let's have a look. I want to see in particular how far the metal plate comes out underneath, how far it stretches, because if the water drips down over this side, I don't really care. It's going to go over, it's going to go from a different location, it's not going to drift into the cold air intake. If this metal plate stretches all the way across, that's going to be an issue. Right, so with the lid off, I can disconnect it here, here and here, and then take off this pipe and it will just fall away, which is what I'll do in a minute. But look, stretches all, the metal plate stops about there. So anything that falls outside of this little spacer here, this little plastic ending on the plastic on the driver's side, falls into the main drainage area, which means it could go into the cold air intake. Anything to the other side, it's going to fall to the left or right of the car and drain somewhere else, which is okay. So I see 10 mil at the back, 10 mil. It's just a plate. I'm never taking this plate off, of course, here, just here. Right, I think I have taken this plate off. Let's take it off again, see what we can see further and deeper down. So a number of ideas. I found this kind of aluminium strip, and I was thinking maybe blocking it under there somehow, or maybe using plastic to stick on this to drain it away. Or there's a natural ridge just there where the glass goes. If I can slip a plastic channel across here, the lowest point is here, maybe I can feed a drainage tube going the other way and drain it down the side again. Or instead of draining it out the lights, drain it straight down. Hopefully it doesn't tangle with anything down there. So let me make it just right. I think I've got an answer. Well, we know the driver's side, the right side of the vehicle, is where the leaks come from. So one of these drainage holes deep down in there, with a light on it, deep down in there and there, maybe in the middle, is the one causing the problem, right? So the cold air intake is somewhere in the middle or to the right of the vehicle. So and there's quite a big space amongst all of this area, must be 2 inches. You've got to just watch out for the running mechanism of the windscreen wiper. But apart from that, do you notice there's this plastic plate here? Now I wondered what that was for. So plastic plate is to stop the water from dripping onto this, right? Makes sense. So what I'm going to do is mark it off with a pen and create some sort of barrier from this side, right, and then allow it to drain on the left hand side of the vehicle. So all those drainage holes will just go straight down, hopefully, and bypass the cold air intake. That's a plan. Or as a backup, wall it all off completely, and here at its lowest point at the back of the wall create another pipe. It comes off, easy to get blocked though, that's the problem. So I should try simple plan first. Wall off some, just cut some plastic sheets out and wall it off, glue it on. Try that. Well, I've used those it's food packaging that can deal with high temperatures, like takeaways and food, other sort of food packaging. The black ones were particularly good to make I guess that's what we call a gully, right? Water gully. It stretches all the way to the top, so it just about touches that, the bottom of that windscreen wiper joint. So I'm going to screw it all down. Underneath here, when I put the
food boxes, food containers, ex-food containers down. I stuck it down with slow curing erudite as well, so I taped it down. And obviously when water gets in there, these taped ends will kind of bubble up, especially when there's a little gap in there like that. So try and minimise them. When you've got the end bit, I've just glued down with erudite, so when it dries it'll be rock hard, it won't peel from there. Also I'm going to give it a couple of layers of quick drying lacquer as soon as I screw it down. So looking at it, I've got an extra piece over this side. The water layer is going to either dribble on over to the right hand side of the engine here, or it's going to go this way, which is fine with me because it's going to head down towards those holes there, which are not causing me any problems. So a pretty tough job. I'm going to have a pool of water sitting there all the time. So I've got to visualise it. The pool is going to come up here. So anywhere this way is fine. So there might be occasion where it pours down into the engine compartment. That should be fine as well. What I can't have it doing is, can't have it going to the left. Ideally, if I could just meander all those that way, that would be better. Alright, see how that works. Right, version 1. So normally it'll sit like that. If you look at the angle of it, the water should drain straight in the holes, but not good enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so it goes more like that way, down into the right, left of the engine. Right, my version 2. So it slopes down to the left hand side of the vehicle, and just need to lacquer it. That should be fine. See if this solves the water problem. The idea is use a dipstick to poke it into those drainage holes. Get this umbrella straight. So in there, until that's clear. Actually, you don't need a dipstick. Somewhere down below. Nice and clear. Use your dipstick again. See where this leads. No, that won't go. It's quite flexible with the dipstick. So I think I've done as far as I can from above, and it's a case of going from below to see what I can do. I think. But can I redivert the water? So I'm going to insert it back on then. Right, okay, so been raining all day.
And the thing I do know is that on that driver's door, when I opened it, is a whooshing sound where before lots of water rushed out as I opened the door. I think it's similar to when you have put a piece of paper on a cup full of water, turn it upside down with no air in it, and the piece of paper stays there, or the card stays there without falling off, or the water coming out as well. So it could be a similar effect. So once I've opened up the holes for the let air in, maybe that could make a difference. So we shall see if that's true. If not, I should feel for the carpet now, but it should be soaking wet if it's gone through. If it's not the case, then possibly I really need to search the bonnet or the hood release cable. There could be a rubber bung there that fits into the wall between the engine compartment and the inside, and water will likely get through in there, because I saw in another video this bung had come out, but on this car it's much harder to find. Let's try it. So it'll be dark, so we're just listing out. I put my phone this time right next to where it could come out, so I'm just going to open it any second. Right, there was no whooshing sound with loads of water at all. So let's check. Let's get some light in here. Give me a second. Right, okay, a bit hard to do. One hand with the torch, one hand holding the camera, and the same hand holding the camera. So I'm just going to peel this back. And it doesn't feel super soaking. It was the same as when I left it the other day. It's not super soaking. The amount of rain we just had, I expect it to be really, really wet. I'm just going to peel it back, give it a chance to dry with the aircon. A few days I'll give you the results. Alright, so after a month of quite heavily rained wet weather, it seems to have not got any worse. So probably not a month, 20 days of kind of wetness. So somehow up there, when there is some blockages to the drainage system, it's kind of the water was seeping into your carpet. So this could be the common fix for a common problem, the fix for the common problem that's existing. And I've seen that in quite a few threads on forums. So give it a try, see if it works for you. I think it may have worked, fingers crossed, with me this time. Right, it's like a month after I did the job on this Honda right hand side, clearing it all out. And remember, I ripped out this plastic kind of gate, and it even says right on there. So I pulled it out from there to allow better drainage. But looking at this, it's just a flap. I don't see how it possibly could be any different, to cause any difference. Now, my kind of homemade water duct system is still not falling apart, so I'm alright with that. Still, everything's still draining to the left hand side of the car. So far, like I've reported, it's kind of dry in there now. So there's two things I did: reducted the waterworks. Now all the areas in all the forums says that it's on the right hand driver's side, and that's the UK right hand side driver's side. Nothing on the left, but I've decided to clean out the left side as well. And I want to investigate also if there's that same rubber gator down there. Yes, it is down there. I can see it. It's hard to see. You can see it right down there. Is the left side, but it kind of looks slightly different. This left side looks different from the right side to me. Looks like slightly different configuration. Doesn't look exactly the same, but I'm going to clean it out anyway, and I'm going to put it all back together. And of course I'm going to get this bit as well. Alright, so if you got a leaky right hand side or driver's side door, well, do what I've done, I guess. Maybe call it a fix. Oh, actually, come to think of it, I have seen the difference. As I was cleaning out this corner, look on the left side. Down here. See it? Look at that giant space. Now in the same video, although it's a different day, you'll see that on the right hand side there's a tiny little gap where the water runs off, and it just about fits. I can fit my whole finger in there. And that's completely different to the other side. There was a tiny gap that got clogged up with rubbish. So that could be the difference.